In the new chapter of Dead Rock, chapter 10, Bren the Vice principal appeared out of the nowhere, seemingly crushing Cougar to death. Hien, angered by his only friend and mentor dying in front of his eyes, tried to avenge him by trying to kill Bren, just for Bren to crush him, seemingly killing Hien as well, ending both characters in less than a chapter. But did they truly die? Is this really the end of Hien?
Till the day I die.
The death of both of these characters came right out of the blue. Hien have been a major character since chapter 1 of the manga, while Cougar had a pretty decent build-up and screen time both through the run of the last few chapters, but also before his first appearance as well. Because of this, I fully believe that both Hien and Cougar are actually still alive. Mashima have put way too much time and effort into their characters, just to kill them off like that, without any of the characters accomplishing anything yet compared to what they have been built up for. Even if Dead Rock is a dark fantasy, killing off characters you put way too much effort and time into, out of the blue, seems like a really odd writing choice. Even Orochi, for example, who died in chapter 2, didn't got killed off, he got resurrected as a zombie. But this time that is basically out of option, but makes this even more suspicious. I believe Bren hit both of them so hard that they actually went underground. The power from his slap was so strong that both Hien and Cougar ended up flying through the ground until they ended up in the underground cavern. And for those who didn't pay attention during the first chapter of Dead Rock, the Anthell, the location used for the entrance exam, is located exactly under the Dead Rock school building, meaning both Hien and Cougar most likely ended up in the Anthell. Now the reason there was so much blood in both attacks is obviously because they got brutally injured from the strike, meaning even if they survived, they definitely aren't in a good shape. They are heavily damaged, so even if they truly survived, they aren't going to come back anytime soon. There are definitely going to be multiple chapters until we see them again, since from that amount of blood loss, they're definitely going to need weeks, if not months, of recovery time, probably a year. Now there is actually 4 reasons why I believe they are alive, and got sent to the Anthell. The first reason is because of what Bren said, after he seemingly killed Hien. Bren yells at Yakuto demanding him to hand over the book, saying, "You want me to squash all of you like ants?" But isn't strange on its own, it's actually pretty logical line. But if you consider that the Anthell is basically located exactly under the school building, it could be a minor foreshadowing towards this outcome. Now the second reason is actually something relevant to the plot. The second reason I believe they ended up in the Anthell is Babel. Babel is the guy who went missing in the Anthell during the exam, just to get revealed to be still alive down there. Babel is a guy who has been teased since chapter 1 of the manga, clearly indicating that he will play a major role in the story later on. Unfortunately, since he's underground, there is no good way to actually introduce him into the story without our main characters needing to go out of their way to seek him out. But of course wouldn't make much sense either, considering they don't know him, so them going down there for him on purpose doesn't make much sense currently. We endanger ourselves just to meet the guy who we don't know. However, with Hien and Cougar being punched underground, they could run into Babel. Babel could find their bodies and help them recover. Through this, Babel could be introduced into the story in a natural flow, without it having the feeling of being forced. Babel probably could also help Hien get stronger, to the point that he is actually capable to face one of the demon teachers, or just to be stronger on overall. Maybe Babel is actually a key to get Class F massively more powerful. Through him, they could access the Anthell and use the ants as a practice to get as strong as possible, basically using the ants as a punching bag until they are stronger. It is also worth mentioning that Babel was mentioned to be alive when Hien decided to leave and go help Team Yakuto, what I don't think is a coincidence. There is also one more reason I believe they might still be alive. I don't believe Bren is actually strong enough to kill Cougar in a single strike. We got told that Cougar is the strongest student in the school, and even if there is a lot of exaggeration regarding his strength, he was strong enough to take a full-powered punch from Yakuto, with basically sustaining only minor injuries. In the other hand, Hien, who is weaker than Yakuto, was capable to hurt Bren, even if only leaving a shallow cut. Meaning perspective-wise, it is highly likely that Bren is not strong enough to kill Cougar in a single strike like that. It would probably take him multiple hits to actually finish the job, especially if we consider the strike he landed on Cougar was actually weaker than the one he landed on Hien. Cougar is a third-year student for a reason. He is basically a step away from being a Demon King, so he definitely isn't a fodder. So it doesn't make sense for him to die from a strike of that caliber. So in conclusion, I believe both of them are still alive and will show up in the future, with Babel on their side. Of course, they probably not going to pop up anytime soon in the same shape, especially Hien. Handsome guy might have some scars on his face. He probably gonna look cool as hell. But what do you think? Please let me know in the comment section below. This was Space G, don't forget to subscribe and see you guys in space. Bye!